We need your help. Please click the link in the description. It'll take you directly to our brand new Etsy shop. That's all you need to do. It's completely free. If you want to have a look around and like any items, that would be super, super helpful. Thank you so much for your help. Hi, Scottish Mudlarking here with Nicole and Craig. We are back at the Baltic Sea and we've come along to a little cliff area where I've been promised I say, that there might be some really, really cool finds here. Now, I've got my heart set on a sea urchin, but let's see if we can find one. It's raining again, but that also means that if you are looking at rocks in the slightly fleeting light, they are actually really, really pretty to look at, and you can see their patterns a lot better. This one is a really pretty kind of a sandstone thing, and this looks like it's wet, but it's not. It's actually a two colored sandstone. Now, I'm not sure what it reminds me of. Is there an animal in there? Yeah, look, it looks like the little squirrel that we've got coming in our garden. So there's the head, the little eyes, and that's the bushy tail. There we go, a wee squirrel rock. Now let's see if we can find something that looks a little bit like a sea urchin. Now, I do know that they are extremely hard to spot, and Sarah, who lives here in the little village just outside Gralmuritz that we are, along the coast from Rostock, had sent me a few of her beach finds before, all the way to Scotland, and we'd done some mermaid mail, and I sent her some Scottish beach finds. Now, I remember she sent me one of these Flint stones and a couple of other treasures. And I have seen on her page on Instagram that you can find lots of really, really cool sea urchins. Now, sea urchins, yeah, they look like the urchins that we found in Scotland before, but here they are actually fossilized, and that means that they are like little round things, the half round things, and they tend to have like a little star shape up at the very top. So if you can imagine, let me see if I can draw that. Okay, so there's a bit of pen and paper. So if you can imagine, it's a round thing like this almost. It's smaller though, and there's like a little star shape right on the top. Well, it's very rudimentary, but that's kind of what these urchins look like. Now, I was kind of hoping that we might find something around this area here, and just have a quick look here. What's this? Under here, pretty rock there. It almost looks like it's a really cool jasper type rock. Now, there's something here. This here, what's this? It's kind of round looking. Oh, what could this be? I don't know. Right. It could be. Now, it really could be one of these urchins. I'm not seeing a star shape on the top, but the shape itself looks like it maybe could be that. What do you think? Could this be a sea urchin? The shape is there. I'm definitely going to take it. Could this be a sea urchin? Let me know in the comments. Okay, I'm going to put it in my pocket. I'm taking it, and I'm going to just have a look. Maybe, what do you think? Just below there. Maybe it seems quite sheltered. Now the rain is starting again, and oh, actually, let's have a look there. What's that? No, it's not. I was wondering if it was like a hagstone, Looked a bit like there was a hole in it, but it's not. So I'm going to leave that one here and move on. Now there's another one here. Lots of really cool. Look, this looks like it's got a face on it. Looks like a face. There's an eye there and a really unhappy mouth. And it's going to be a little bit like me in a minute because the rain's come back. Do you remember this really lovely piece of sea glass we found at the Baltic Coast last time? I'm going to turn that into a necklace.
One of the things that's really amazed me about this stroll along the Baltic coast today is just the sheer amount of flint that I'm finding. I seem to have stopped at a place where I'm not seeing so much of it, but there's a big chunk there with a leaf on it. There's another big chunk there. There's so much of it. Another bit of flint there, another bit here, here, here. It makes me wonder, you know, back in the day, this was a really important kind of tool making substance. You know, I'm talking a long time ago. Back in the sort of like kind of Stone Age times and whatnot. And I wonder if this coast might have been an important location. For trading this stuff, because this is where you got your cutting tools. You know, nap away at that and you're going to end up with arrowheads, spearheads, axe heads, knives, all the kind of things that you need. Even to make your clothes, you need scraping tools to kind of tan hides and whatnot. Well, you wouldn't need it to tan the hides, but you'd need it to scrape the hides before you tanned them. And you can see it's everywhere. Everywhere you look along this coast, there's so much of this stuff. Big chunk up there, another weird chunk just behind it. You can't miss it. It's beautiful stuff. You know, fine slivers of it. You can almost see through it. It's almost glass-like. It's really beautiful. Another wee chunk there, another bit here. But there.
Now I think I'm just going to focus on some rocks with faces in it, because there's another one, and it's a slightly unhappy looking chap there. Okay, I think we really deserve a really nice hot chocolate by the time we come back in from here, and we've got quite a long way to walk back at the beach. There's probably going to be the only people on the beach at that time. Now, is there anything here that you think might be an interesting fossil? Actually, what's that there? Under there. Right. Not the flintstone. This bit here. Let's see. Let's have a look at this bit. This looks quite fascinating. There might be something in there. Maybe put that here. Let's see. What do you think? Is that a fossil? Could it be a fossil? Well, I'm actually going to leave it here, so if it is a fossil, I'm going to kick myself. But It's a really cool rock. Right, okay. I'm gonna maybe move a little bit further along there. I'm gonna go here and have a look in this area here. Because I don't know if this is the area that there might be some specific fossils. Obviously, like I say, I've got my heart set on a little sea urchin. Maybe I've already found one, I'm not sure. But actually, look at this. It's so pretty. There's so many really cool rocks here. There's one that looks like it's got a wishing stone there. There's this one which looks like it's flint. It's super smooth. Yeah, that's flint. So if you see it from this side, you couldn't really tell it's flint, but from this side, it's got that really beautiful kind of landscapey finish. And even if it's not wet, you can still see that it's quite shiny. Now, do you know, I always say that whenever beachcombers ask me how do you spot marbles, I always say I used to just pick up like for clay marbles, every little piece of clay, just to train my eyes. And I've also been told that here, if you want to find a particular kind of fossils that you can only find here at the Baltic Sea, you do need to train your eyes, and it's not super easy to spot all the fossils. So yeah, I'm kind of a novice here after so many years at the beach in Scotland, here in Germany on the Baltic Coast. I have no real idea what I'm looking for. I've seen these finds on Instagram, but it's always much more difficult to spot them here in situ when you're not really sure what you're looking for. I'm not really sure. Do they come in small sizes and big sizes? I would like to know if you've been to the Baltic Coast, or also if you've maybe found sea urchins, sea urchin fossils or something like that. Were they easy to spot? Is this one? I don't think so. I think it's just a round rock. So I'll just keep looking here now. This one's quite cool. Look. Has it got a face on it? I think it's got a face on it. Can you see the faces? An eye, kind of longish nose, and there's a mouth. And I think all the rocks that I've seen so far look rather unhappy, like they've been rained on or something. Okay, let's have a look here. Now there's a quite promising rock here. It's two, and this one here, that's just caught my eye. That almost looks like it's a heart shape or like a wedge. Reminds me a bit when you get flint stones, and they were made into tools. But I think this one might actually have some fossil inclusions. Hold it over the sea. See if we can maybe see it better there. I think that's really pretty. Do you think it's full of fossils, or do you think it's maybe a tool from the Stone Age? I'm taking it. I'm definitely taking it. Now the other thing that I've spotted here is this really pretty rock here, and that is super gorgeous. Now look at these two together. That's very pretty. Now it looks like, oops, like this one is maybe some sort of jasper, and it maybe have some quartz enclosures in it. That's very pretty. Now look at all of these rocks here. You know, there are lots of people who do collect rocks, and I follow a couple of people on Instagram, and it looks amazing if you just get like lots of red rocks together. And these people do flat lays, so you get lots of red rocks. And actually, I've just spotted So a bit distracted here by this, which looks a bit like it might have some fossils in it. Pretty. Do you think I should take these too? So back to the rocks. So you do put the red rocks together, then you get like all the beige rocks together, and then you get all the black ones together. And that looks really, really cool. And you get, see, you can already see that you get almost like a sort of pattern here. And they do something called flat lay, where it's just all these treasures together in a flat composition on a picture, and actually looks really cool. And now I think I'm already getting there. What do you think? You can see that I've sorted these rocks. I think that's really quite fascinating. I don't really collect very many rocks, so it's not something I could recreate at home, but I think I've done pretty well. And the rain appears to be off just now, so I'm going to take these two and see what Craig's been up to.
There's a wee crystalline looking object there, bit of quartz, I think. Really beautiful. As much as we might not be finding the kind of sea glass that we usually treasure, I think we've found a space here. It's a kind of rock hounding heaven, if you like. And certainly if somebody's really fanatical about their flint, you'd be hard pressed to find a better place to find flint. It's everywhere. There. A huge chunk up there as well. And so many geologically interesting stones as well. Nicole's probably already been pointing out a few that she's found really pretty.
All the rocks that I've seen so far look rather unhappy.
And I think just over here behind these trees, these are all sort of like fallen from, I don't know, it looks like there's been fire here. You can see there's what looks like burnt out remains of a tree up there. And these trees all look like they've been burnt, whether that's happened after they've fallen or not. But the coastal erosion that's picking away at this little, it's hard to call it a cliff face, isn't it, folks? It's only maybe about 6 foot tall. But the coastal erosion that's been pulling away at this is pulling all these rocks out. And it reminds me of a beach, the name of which escapes me for the moment, that we visited in Scotland. And we saw just an incredible array of beautiful stones. We didn't find very much sea glass there, and we certainly didn't find anywhere like this amount of flint. It's everywhere. But what we did find was some amazing and really interesting rocks. Now what we'd found out is that was an ancient river that had flowed through that. And what it had done is it had dragged all of these variously different geologically interesting pieces of rock along onto that beach. And we're finding a similar kind of thing here now. I don't know, I guess, and I'm only guessing, and I'm really going to have to look this up now, but I wonder if during the Ice Age a lot of this stuff was deposited glacially. So I kind of wonder if this whole stretch of the Baltic coast that we're seeing here was once glacial. That's a wee thing for me to look up, and maybe I'll try and add it on top of this to try and make the video a wee bit irrelevant to saying why we find so much of this stuff all here. It's really stunning. It's a beautiful stretch of coast, but not one that is chock-a-block with sea glass of the sort that we're used to finding. But as I say, you know, there's different reasons you come to different places in the world, and this is definitely a place to come if you love rocks. Now there's a wee interesting sliver of flint there. Is that flint? I think it might be. Not sure. It looks like a wee claw or a wee tooth. It's not at all a claw or a tooth at all. It's just a wee stone, and I think it's a wee sliver of flint. But you'd be hard pressed to find a more interesting spot, geologically, for the incredible amount of and varied amount of stones that we're finding here as well. Just really stunning. And of course, as we always like to say, you get that. And that alone is a treasure to behold. The night's drawing in today. I think we're maybe we've seen the end of another day of rain. Maybe not. Maybe there's more of it to come. It looks like there might be on that horizon there. But we're starting to see a little bit of sunshine creeping in between those clouds there. Set against the sea. It's just beautiful. As I say, everywhere you look here, wee bits of flint and wee interesting finds. That's a gnarly looking bit, that, eh? It doesn't look like much, but chip away at it and you can see the flint inside there, encased. Just incredible stuff. I think, you know, before we had the ability to work metals and whatnot, as I say, that was it. That was your lot. But what is that? Is that just a whetstone? Yes, it is. It's just a whetstone. There's another bit of flint. As if you've not seen enough flint today. There's another bit. Now that is interesting because you can see that there's nearly a wee hole in that. And one day, if we're really lucky, we'll find one that has a wee hole all the way through. Preferably one that's not too big and that we can hang on a wee bit of string or whatnot. Now I'm going to catch up with Nicole, and I think we're going to make our way back along this coast and try and find a warm spot to maybe have a cup of tea, or maybe even a wee hot chocolate or something. Try and take the chill and the damp out our bones. But before I do, I'm just going to swing back round, have a look back along this coast, because it's absolutely stunning. Okay, let's see if we can catch up with Nicole and see what she's been finding. You can see Nicole is filming something there. There's something that seems to happen everywhere you go. Everywhere there's stones, somebody's making wee piles. This one carefully balanced on a tree. I'm wondering now if Nicole's already spoken about that. Maybe, maybe not. We shall see. I shall find out, as they say in the edit. Now, there's another big chunk of flint. There's Nicole. Let's see if Nicole's found anything interesting today. Now today, I have been mainly finding flint.
Yeah.
And talking about that. How about yourself?
I have mainly been finding rocks that have funny faces on them.
Funny faces?
Yeah.
Funny faced rocks, who would have thought?
Yeah, but they all looked a little miserable, almost like a bit like me being a bit drenched up.
In this weather, why would you be miserable? I just thought what we'd do is we'd take a wee walk back along the coast here. I don't think I'm going to be looking at any more flint, but I was just saying how amazing this area is. It reminds me, you'll maybe remember the name of the beach. Yeah, I saw that. Did you talk about that as well?
Yeah. I thought it was, it looked like a bird or something, and then I realised somebody made a wee stone sculpture like people used to do in
I've seen a
these.
few. Look, if you just look over there,
Ah, oh, that's
there's a wee,
cool.
I'm going to say a heap, there's a wee heap of heaps.
I have to take a photo of that for Instagram. That's really cool.
Now, what I thought we'd do is we'd just take a wee stroll back along the coast here, and maybe just have a chat about how dreich it's been on the way. But there you go, see, as I say, it doesn't really matter where you go, where there's rocks and there's people are going to stack the rocks. Okie dokies. Let's crack on then. Now I'll just do this for a couple of minutes because I think I'm going to be quiet as well. I know, it makes a change, eh? But I think it's quite beautiful and quite relaxing. So maybe you'll enjoy a wee stroll along the Baltic coast. I thought that was an urchin, but it's not, it's a petal.
Oh.
It's a funny thing actually today, whilst I've been walking along, I've noticed a whole bunch of petals, most of them red. And I wonder if there's been a wee bouquet of flowers left here and it's just been taken apart with the wind, spread around the coast here. Anyway, there's me yabbering again.
Yeah, sounds out.
Red petals like that one, folks.
Yeah, well, yeah, that sounds like we part of the leaf maybe, right? Yeah, it's autumn after.
And I don't know, I mean, look at this. Do you think there's been a fire here?
Oh, right. Oh, because they're all black.
They're all blackened, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're maybe just wet because they're right by the coast.
Like me, drenched.
Yeah.
My trousers started off green today, folks. They're actually almost black now. They're absolutely drenched.
But we're pretty much the only people on the beach.
Yeah, well that's Saturday.
Just us.
We're the only folk mad enough to be here on the beach. That's it. No, what's that? Is that bit of glass? No, it's not. It's just a wee stone. No, no glass. So I don't think we've found any glass today, have we?
No, we haven't found any glass today. I mean, well, yeah, I find that quite surprising that we actually can't find any glass here. I mean, it's a good thing. There's also very, very little plastic here. But for somebody with a passion for sea glass, it's a really bad thing.
Yeah, I was just saying, you know, this is a kind of rockhounder's haven.
Yeah.
It's just amazing for the geological kind of interesting geological finds. But for sea glass, not so much.
No, and I think the German coast in general is not particularly famous for its sea glass. So much so that I've shared a handful of Scottish sea glass in a German group, and somebody said, "Oh no, you can never find that in one day," and it was not a particularly amazing day in Scotland. So yeah, we're really blessed in Scotland. But luckily, we've brought lots of our sea glass along.
Well, one of the reasons that we might not find that kind of stuff is, despite today's wave action, this is not a tidal beach. I think, as we were saying in the last video, the water level rises here because of surges rather than tides. And those surges can be really quite significant. There's a town a wee bit away from us here, and I'll maybe try and insert some photographs. But sometimes these tidal surges can be so significant that they come in way past all this and right up into the town, and they flood the town. So I've seen some photographs at least of cars basically half submerged in the Baltic Sea here, just because of these surges. So as much as it's not tidal, it does get high and low for different reasons. But maybe the infrequency of that is why we don't find sea glass. It doesn't wash up and down the beach in the same way that it does twice a day in Scotland. It just happens whenever there's a storm. So maybe there's just a huge amount of sea glass
Offshore.
sitting out there somewhere in the middle of the water there.
Who knows?
Enough havering for me. Let's get ourselves along. See if we can get a warm drink.
Well, that's us for today. We didn't find an awful lot of fossils, but we did see some amazing rock surfaces and flintstones. Now let me know. I'm throwing myself here with the flintstones because I'm thinking
It's the Flintstones!
Really?
You're the Flintstones!
Anyway, thanks so much for watching and liking and commenting. If you haven't subscribed yet, please take a minute to subscribe. An extra special thanks goes out to everybody who's been supporting the channel, Etsy and Ko-fi. That makes a massive difference and it keeps the lights on. See you next time!
Yabba dabba doo!